Woo.
Zach Minnix, Ozark Outdoors.
Woo. Jordan Sanders, Ozark Outdoors, out here at Lake Limestone. We are about to put in some work. Some more work than what we did right there.
This is
what kind of Central Texas hillbilly stuff is this?
They're working on the dam over there. It's a pretty constant level. You can see right here where the paint is. You normally got to go down 1 step, but today you're coming down 4 steps, my boy.
I am 6 foot tall and you expect me to get down there.
Come on, hey, 80-year-old men do it every day. There you go.
You do this at the fire station?
Oh yeah, just like that right there. 3 points of contact at all times.
All times, 1, 2.
Bam.
Ooh. We have finally made it out here to Central Texas. Ozark Outdoors, Jordan Sanders here. Made it out here with Zach Minnix, our newest affiliate on Lake Limestone, owner of Jig and Jerk Guide Service. But I jigged that thing and it jerked it on in.
What's going on, everybody? How are y'all today?
Man, what are we gonna do out here today?
Man, I got plans. We're gonna go out here, chase these whitefish in the channel real quick, see if we can't snatch a few. After that, I plan on going to chase some blackfish. There's some really good blackfish in here, 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds if we get lucky, man.
So you're telling me all I gotta do is grab one of those Ozark rods, jig it, and when they bite it, all I gotta do is jerk it? But I jigged that thing and it jerked it on in.
That's the name of the game, baby.
That's the name of the game. We're gonna try and put them in the boat. Y'all stay tuned. We're gonna have an awesome day out here on foggy Lake Limestone.
Stay tuned.
Oh, she's hungry. Jeez.
That white bass.
That is Sandy right there.
That's a stud.
You brought me from Lake Fork to catch these?
We may have to catch a few of those just to find out the pattern,
I'm just letting you know.
Just to find out the pattern, my boy.
I drove 4.5 hours from Lake Fork to catch that right there.
I'm sorry, my boy.
I don't even want to touch it. I see why you break stuff now.
Why?
You really cover water.
Oh yeah, we're gonna cover some water today, oh boy. That's the only way we're gonna catch these whitefish.
Jig it a little bit.
I'm about to. I just want to get it on her nose before I do it.
Jerk it.
Oh, that's a cute fish.
Is that an average fish out here on Lake Limestone?
It's a little small,
small.
And they're black. It says a black.
Is this your black crappie hole or your white crappie hole?
It's normally a white crappie hole.
It's okay, they like to mix up every now and then.
Oh yeah. If you come out here expecting every day for those fish to be sitting at the bottom, that's not the right method. I've come out here many times and they've been 4 feet, 6 feet under the surface, right on top. You just got to decipher if your white bass are up top or if it's your crappie up top. And once you get your pattern, just run with it, you know?
And that pattern changes daily?
It maybe not daily, but it can change seasonal.
Like today, with prefrontal conditions, what should these fish be doing?
They're going to be feeding up. They're going to be active. They're going to be, I mean, you put a bait in front of them, they should be feeding pretty aggressively right now.
No sunshine, a whole bunch of fog. Are they going to be higher or lower in the water column?
Lower. Just a little cutie. Just a little cutie. There's your whitey.
That'll make a sandwich.
That'll make a sandwich.
Lower. You threw that back?
Gonna let him get a little bigger, brother.
How many kids do you have?
Just 4.
Just 4? And I got 3, so we need to keep every fish we got.
I tell people all the time, we got a growing season of 10 to 11 months, depends on, I think that's a catfish, Will. December is always your give month. I mean, there's gonna be some years I feel like December is gonna be cold, but the last few years I feel like December's been warm. What do you think?
Man, I just got back from Iowa. Whenever I left there, it's 6 degrees. So getting back on the boat wearing shorts, no socks, no bibs, and actually fishing on December 16th, December 17th, middle of December, it's just flat out fantastic. We're catching big fish. It's gonna be 60, 65 degrees today, and it's wintertime. This is full-blown winter in Texas. It's just something you can't beat. Come down here to Texas, come jig and jerk them, and we'll see what happens after that.
So I pull that away from them. I don't like dragging to my fish. I'm going for the bottom one. I'm going for that bottom one. I spooked all them fish.
That is a stud.
There's a decent black right there, my boy.
You called it too. How'd you know that was a blackfish?
Man, it's like I fished this lake, my boy. It's where the location we're at right now, Jordan. They're sitting. We're on the main lake right now. I have a theory. You know, each lake you've got to break them down differently. I've got some fish right now, they're in the creeks. I've got some fish right now, my whitefish are sitting in 30 foot of water. I've got some fish that they're sitting on flat still. On this lake right now, I feel like my whitefish are shallow, and I feel like your blackfish are a little bit deeper.
So you're telling me you can pattern them based off the species?
On this lake, you definitely can. On this lake, for sure.
So then what color crappie is that one?
That's a black. And we may not catch her. You normally, when you're blackfishing, you may sometimes you only catch one a tree.
Yeah, it looks like you're gonna catch that one.
Looks like I caught that one too.
That is just wild. You can tell me exactly what color fish that is, what species fish that is.
Oh, sorry, Bo. So I live in a small town outside of Waco. It's on the west side of Waco. It's called Crawford. It's where old George W. Bush's ranch is. I work in Austin. I travel about an hour and 15, 20 minutes away to work. I work a 48-96 schedule. On my days off, I've chosen to guide. I've been guiding for about 6.5, 7 years. I'm a lieutenant. I've got a crew of 6. We have a squad and we run an engine. It's what I've been doing for steadily 5 years. And you know what's funny is I didn't initially want to be a full-time guide. I wanted to have just a little extra income so I could have a boat. One thing led to another, and I figured out, hey, I can catch these fish pretty regularly. And then I started really loving it, and now it's what I do, and now I chase the trails, and it's everything I love. I love to be an advocate for the sport. I love to share my knowledge.
I need somebody to put their damn phone on silent back there before I come back there and whoop their ass.
Are you working on your casting technique here?
Man, I'm getting a little better. So this right here is a prototype bass rod from Ozark.
All right.
And this is my preferred method of fishing. You know, long poling them's just way too easy for me. You know, long poling, we'd have that fish in the boat already.
You're right.
So just kind of doing something that requires a little more technique, a little more finesse.
Get you ready for those tournaments whenever you're heading up north, having to fish those clear lakes and having to cast at them, like Mr. Eric Cagle.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, who really wants to watch me sit here, stare at a screen and hold a damn long, actually, you know what? They do want to watch me hold a damn long rod.
Go get her, bub.
You can't, we went over this in the last episode. Damn is not a bad word. Comment below if you believe that.
To the 7-year-old that's watching this,
go in there.
Mom!
Go in there and tell your mom that you want some damn dinner. Oh, my damn fish scared off.
Oh, he's just coming to you.
Oh, you want some smoke? Here.
He's coming to you. He's coming to you.
What do I do here?
There's another blackfish. We caught all 3 of them off that tree, Jordan.
Dude, I tell you one thing. He brought me down here to Lake Limestone. I promised you I was gonna find the fish. But I jigged that thing and it jerked it on in.
There it is, boy.
It's a healthy fish right there too. Every bit of 1.5, 160, and these blackfish have shoulders on them down here. Thought you said they weren't chasing a bait.
Hey, they got one to chase right there, old boy. There's a whitefish.
That is a healthy fish too. Tell me the difference.
The difference? Well, here's how I explain it. Here's how I explain it to my clients. That right there is a tiger, and that right there is a leopard. And that's the best way that I can explain it. Tiger stripes come down, leopards have spots randomly. And everybody understands that, man.
I am glad you put that in context because I'm an uneducated fishing guide and I did not know the difference between a tiger and a leopard. I knew leopards were fast, but
not a bad whitefish, is it?
That is
not a bad blackfish.
Dude, that is a healthy fish. The belly on that.
So if you put in at Lake Limestone campground number 2, or if you put in at the boat ramp that's directly across, you need to stay in the middle of the lake at all times. If you stay in the middle of the lake, you can run this whole lake. If you get to the east side or the west side, you have a high probability of hitting your boat on some timber. So when you travel this lake, and you even travel into the coves, you stay in the middle. Once you get to the coves, you need to shut them down and idle. If you don't, you'll be getting a new lower unit.
I do have 4 pound.
You want a net?
Yeah.
Let me get you a net, my boy.
I got 4 pound test and I really don't want to boat flip anything.
Oh.
Actually, I don't need that. I can boat flip that one. But
Hey, tighten the drag up on that, old boy.
hey, it's 4-pound test. This one might actually be 2-pound test.
Kyle's
Out here at Limestone catching giants. I tell you, these are giants right here.
Each lake's different. You have to fill your fish out. I don't just throw on heavy weights going, hey, this is gonna work. I read my fish. I drop a bait down. If the fish reacts and it runs off, obviously I don't have the right bait on. I know what I can use right now because I've been using it we've been using it for the last 2 weeks out here. So what I'm gonna tie on right now, I'm gonna tie on a quarter ounce weight for above, and it's a bullet weight that I get from Dan's Jigs. And then I get these bobber stoppers from ATX Lure Company, and they're amazing. They say you don't have to put 2. I always put 2. They're super hard to pull. I use your teeth. I don't recommend it, or you're gonna be going to the dentist. So boom, I tagged it. So that's a quarter ounce weight. Then I'm gonna tie on this Slab Syndicate. It's the Gray Ghost by Slab Syndicate. It's an awesome jig. And I'm gonna use a quarter ounce because the fish are running to the baits, so we can do it. I have a long line. I'm using the 13-foot machine. So I can kind of stick that pole out, and I don't, if you're gonna be using a short pole like Jordan doesn't have as much weight on as I do. He has a little bit less weight. He's casting those fish so that it flutters over those fish. Then I'm gonna cut this tag end right here. Bring this down to about 8 inches above. And that's my setup, and it will catch the fish.
Dang, already?
Another blackfish. Another leopard, boy. Another leopard.
Oh, leopard.
Oh, leopard right there.
I was up there 10 minutes trying to catch that fish.
Well, you know, that's short rod, long rod.
Man, I would have never guessed. You told me we were going after black crappie. What did I bring down here? I brought a short rod, 4-pound test, and here you are throwing quarter ounce jigs. Well, what's the difference? My black crappie, we have to cast to them.
Well, the difference in you and me and your lake and my lake is, what do you think? Average of, what, 25,000 boats a year on your lake?
Mm-hmm.
I would say an average of 500 to 1,000 boats on this lake. Pressure's everything, man. And these fish don't have the pressure.
Yeah, you're telling me, see, my blackfish, I'm having to drop all the way down to a 1/80th and a 1-inch bait. And you're using, my blackfish would laugh at that.
Hey, and on most lakes, I know that. But on this lake, you get to take advantage of it.
I wish I'd have brought my 15-foot machine. She didn't want you.
Because I had a quarter ounce jig head on, flowing it by her face, instead of being patient and dropping it right on her ass, on her nose. Just like there, I'm on her ass.
Why didn't you tell him anything about it?
Sorry. I know better than that.
I say damn, and it's a whole big old ordeal, and he can sit up here and say, I got her.
Not a bad one. Are you gonna lick this black?
That's a leopard. We're learning our acronyms today. That was a leopard. The last one he caught was a tiger. These Central Texas fellows do it different. You know leopards are the fastest animal on the earth?
Really?
I think so. I thought cheetahs were. What's the difference between a cheetah and a leopard? I thought they were the same thing. I'm being dead serious too. See, you've been doing it wrong the whole time.
I have been?
Yep, I just Googled it. Cheetahs have solid black spots. Leopards don't. You've been lying to your clients. Leopards have rosette-shaped spots.
Have what?
That's rosette, that's Google, just saying. Just had to fact check you. I knew I didn't believe you. Tiger and leopards. Out here talking about fish and cats. They're not even comparable. Leopards. One will eat your hand off and one I'll eat the side off.
One day you're gonna use that saying when you least expect
I am, tomorrow on my guide trip. Like I tell everybody, you can be 100% full of dookie as long as you say it with confidence. And you told me that tiger and leopard thing with confidence, and I believed you. I'm glad I looked it up. The bend in that rod.
Blackfish.
She choked it.
She got it. She got it. Just another healthy blackfish. That's decent fillet right there.
That'd make a hell of a sandwich. We put that on a baked tater.
Did I get you wet?
You can't be, yeah, looking at you gets me wet.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
There goes that whole segment. It's not a clear water lake, but it's not a dirty water lake. Like if you go to Waco, Waco's more clear. Belton, clear. A lot of the lakes I fish are a lot more clear, so you have to present the bait a little differently. You get a bait within 5 feet on Waco, they're coming after it. Most of the time on Limestone, you gotta get that bait a little bit closer for them to see it before they're gonna come off of it.
Yeah. I tried to help you out.
Sorry.
I know you're not used to having somebody
Take
like
over.
You take over?
Take over.
I got you.
It's your turn to catch 4 or 5.
That's a nice fish right there.
Hey, hang on. What did you say this was? A leopard? No.
No, that's a cheetah.
That's a cheetah. Hey, we got a cheetah right here.
Got a dang cheetah. Like Chester the cheetah.
So normally on this lake, a lot of times when they're roaming, they're gonna be roaming in between the timber. Now, if you can find a timber and then open area and another patch of timber, I found that to be really, really good if it's on a flat, especially in the summertime. You can go out there in the mornings and you can really hammer them on those flats, and then they'll suck up to this timber when the sun comes out. I've noticed like on a cloudy day, just like today, we've been catching more fish, more sitting out in between the timber than sucked up on the timber because they don't have to be on the timber today.
Does that have anything to do with the shadows or anything?
100%. Fish like to run the shadows. I mean, they like to stay in the shadows. They're always looking up. So when the sun's out, if they can, they're gonna hide. You know, you can get into the dirty water, and those guys are sitting there fishing 4 foot of water. That sun's not beaming down and hurting their eyes, so they're gonna sit in 4 foot of water. That's where they're comfortable.
Are you wearing socks with Crocs?
Yeah, always, brother. Little no-shows.
I'll be right back.
Hey, I caught that blackfish in like 8 foot of water on the water column.
It's a mohawk.
Oh, mohawk. Look at that. Black all the way. Raise it all the way. Pretty fish. Mohawk.
What's the difference between that one and a cheetah?
Has a black line through it. You could almost call that a lion, like the mane, you know, if you really wanted to. I hear all y'all talking about hybrids. Man, I ain't caught one in Central Texas that I know of. I don't know if they don't exist down here, if I've never caught one, if I've caught one, didn't know it. You know, everybody's like, hey man, what's your biggest hybrid? I like a 120. I've never caught a big hybrid.
Well, this lake should have them if there's white crappie and black crappie in here. It's just like me, Jordan Sanders. It's a mix between white fish and black fish. And you'll know it's a hybrid whenever you catch it because it's the biggest fish you'll ever catch. He's been boss hogging the live scope all morning. Finally sees a 1.5 pound fish and he's like, here, go catch her. I appreciate you being so sweet to me.
You know dang good well that's bigger than 1.5 pounds.
That's about 1.5 pounds.
Let me get this net because that's bigger than 1.5 pounds.
It's about 1.5 pounds.
Right, you're right.
If I tell you it's gonna rain.
Hang on, time out. No.
If I tell you it's gonna rain, get your umbrella. You want to put? Are you really gonna second guess me?
Yeah, hang on. 0. You got the 0?
152.
See, I knew it wasn't a 150 class fish.
Oh, 148, huh?
145, baby.
Gonna second guess me. Lord, I thought you knew better than that, Zach.
Hey, what is this one? What are you?
A wise man from Jig and Jerk Guide Service. You see the stripes right there? So tigers have stripes on them, and tigers go arr. And when they go arr, that's when they get put in the boat. It's still wild. He tells me we're going black fishing. So I bring my little casting set up, and here he is using a 13-foot machine with a 1/4 ounce weight. I have never heard of catching black crappie with heavy gear consistently. He is showing me something new today. And he's catching them quicker than me too. If there's 3 fish on a tree and they're black crappie, how many am I supposed to be able to catch off there?
Well, last week you caught 1, but we've already just proved that. Earlier we caught all 3, so let's see if you can catch all 3 of them.
Well, one of them's already leaving.
One's on the bottom.
So we always start at the top. You start at the top because if you catch a fish from below her, that top fish is gonna pull off.
Net man back here, baby, come on.
Yeah. I'm using an Ozark machine. I don't need that outlaw net.
So for y'all folks at home, I've been guiding for 7 years, but I'd say about 4 years ago, I called Jordan and he helped bring my game to the next level. I had a big old center console boat. He told me, he said, Zach, listen, that ain't gonna work. You can catch fish in it, but to be competitive, you're gonna need to get something that can work a little quicker. So I ran up there and we fished a couple lakes up there, Fort Pines, and fished another few small lakes. And he helped get me to where I am today. And me and Jordan have been friends for 4 or 5 years now, and I still am appreciative for everything he's done for me.
That is such a sob story. He is 100%. He might not be lying. I came up here and we tweaked his game a little bit. He was already there. It was just his confidence level wasn't there. Like I tell everybody, as long as you say it with your chest, you'll be all right. And that's all he had to do. We got him in a Phoenix boat. Well, he got himself in a Phoenix boat, and he has been whooping my tail ever since. Sorry, I ruined this sob story.
No, you didn't. That's you.
I snuck behind him and stole it from him. He wanted that fish, and I got in there and grabbed it. I got it.
You just couldn't let me have it, could you?
All right. Stop showing off. That little thing. I mean, look, mine's way bigger. Way bigger.
Always catch the little ones.
Yeah, I know, yours is so small. Just one of those things. So what kind is that?
That's a cheetah.
A cheetah?
That's a cheetah. Did you just see that? You got that on film. I just shot that around like a daggum white bass. I shot it up like this, came back down, shot it up again, and she smoked it.
Lord, she wanted that thing moving.
She wanted it moving.
Thing has a belly on it.
Beautiful fish. They're pretty fish here, man. Oh, there's a boat, Jordan.
No, we hadn't seen a boat in a long time.
I know. Some days out here you'll see boats, some days you won't. You know, some lakes you go to on Waco, we'll always have a boat. You'll always see boats. There'll always be a boat at the boat ramp. Some days you'll pull up to this lake and you may not see a boat all day, or if you do, there's one like there is right there.
Is it a recreational lake or a fishing lake?
I think this is more of a fishing lake. They've got spots to recreate, to tube and to ski, but if you don't know this lake, I promise you I wouldn't be putting my kids in it to tube or ski.
A whole bunch of structure out here, huh?
Yes, sir.
Since this fish isn't relating to structure and she's not really swimming too fast, this one's gonna be a white crappie on Lake Limestone. A pretty decent white crappie at that.
Boom. Net.
Oh, I got a machine, I don't need a net.
That's right.
Dude, that is wild. How you can take an orange dot on a cheater scope and tell me the species of it. How'd you figure that out?
Time on the water, brother.
Time on the water?
Time on the water is everything.
How do you spend as much time on the water as you can? You have a full-time job.
The love of the game is what I call it. It's the love of the game.
That's dedication right there. That is true dedication. I know when I get off the water, I want to go home and go to sleep. This man gets off work and comes out here and goes fishing and figures out orange dots are white crappie and black crappie. That is wild. What's wild is we're catching blackfish and there's only 1 to 3 per tree. When I think of blackfish, I typically think of schooling fish.
Well, so I think when this water gets to about, I'm gonna say in the mid 40s, they're gonna start schooling up. And they're gonna start schooling up in big numbers where you're chasing those schools around in open water. So I just pitched out about 15 feet to that fish. She did not react. Instead of pulling it up, I'm just kind of easing it up here to see if she'll react on it. Not a big fish. Another white fish. Right now, I don't know what it is. I'm not saying you can't go out in deep water and catch your whitefish, because we've already done that. Right now, predominantly 15 to 18 foot of water on this lake, you can catch whitefish. And in the deeper parts, you can catch blackfish. When those blackfish move off the trees in the deeper water, they've gone to open water, your whitefish are gonna jump in on those deeper trees as it gets cooler. That's my theory on this lake.
See, I'm bringing a little bit of my East Texas swing
Catch that right there.
down to your Central Texas fish.
Talk to me, what do you mean?
So you're using a big old 1/4 ounce jig head. So I used your setup, but I dropped it down to a 1/64. That's about 1 inch long. Notice these last few fish, we've had trouble getting reactions out of them.
Big
Not
time.
reactions, but had trouble getting them to eat.
Commitment issue.
Yep. So I think that bait, you know, typically on blackfish, you want to go as small as possible. I think that bait's just a little too big.
That's a decent fish, Jordan.
That is a decent fish. That's gonna be your 160, 170 class fish right there. Down here in Central Texas, that is a giant. So out here with the man, the myth, the legend himself, I think what you're supposed to do with this fish is once you get it on her nose, you're supposed to jig it. And when she eats, you jerk it.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
I will take a net on this one. There we go. So I wonder if by just going to that smaller profile, thank you. I wonder if by going to that smaller profile, if we got a quicker reaction. That isn't even a blackfish. That's what he would call a tiger right there.
Hey.
But she saw it and she ate. Those last few fish we were looking at, they wouldn't eat. I think that bigger bait just had something to do with it. No, I like it. I see why you stay booked down here. The fish are plentiful. What's their primary food source here?
Shad. But the other day, it was funny. I was cleaning a couple of fish. I found little perch in them. Little baby perch.
Little brim?
Yeah, little brim. Their main source of food is those threadfin shad.
Man, running a completely different rig is a little difficult, but we're getting the hang of it. So this is gonna be a blackfish from what I've seen, just because she's sitting on a tree.
Yep.
So you're telling me that's a black before we can even see it?
Yes, sir.
Ooh! We were hoping it was a blackfish.
She's not that big. Blackfish. See if you can't catch you one, old boy.
Hey, I would be happy to catch a fish.
Not a bad fish. Let me give you a Ozark tip of the day. If you're gonna come to Lake Limestone, you're gonna have to cover some water. If you're not sitting on 6 to 10, chasing these fish, looking from the timber, you're not gonna come away with a big sack. I'm not saying every day, but this time of year, they're not stacked up in one certain area. You're gonna have to cover some water to get it done. That's my Ozark tip of the day. Man, something you gotta be careful of is if you see those strings coming in the water and they look tight, most of the time those are trot lines and they're connected to something else. You gotta be really careful, because if you get your trolling motor caught up in them, you can make a good day of fishing over with.
Oh! Oh! You just made me look bad on that one.
That's a white crappie right there. Look at that belly, just nice and thick. 13-foot machine, catching slabs, baby.
It's wild how you can point out whether they're white or black on the screen. On a damn TV screen.
That's one thing, man. If you get that screen and you're at 24 foot, it'll make you think, if you forget to move it back, it's a massive fish. I like to scan at 45 to 60. It just depends on what lake I'm at, what the clarity is, what the shad's doing really. Like right now, if you look at our screen, Jordan's coming over a whole school of shad right now. That's just constant shad. And a lot of times those fish are gonna sit right in between those shad. And so you gotta know, hey, when to floor it and when to hold up and try to look for those fish in those shad.
All right, so I can almost guarantee that based off of what Zach Minnix has taught me, our newest Ozark affiliate, that this is a white crappie floating around. Almost guarantee. And you see Zach Minnix is back there making as much noise as possible trying to hinder me from catching this fish. But these Central Texas fish are a little ignorant. Got her! Oh! Were you trying to grab a net? Were you really trying to grab a net?
You know,
dude, I have a 17-foot machine in my hand, and I am a well-oiled machine.
Folks.
They bought that slab syndicate, they're coming in.
He just told me he was on the biggest fish of the day, and we've already had 180s and 190s in the boat. So I was expecting a 220.
Well,
That's about a 180.
Well, look at her. She's just got, look at that tumor she's got. That's why she's putting off the hard return.
I got you.
She got a tumor. That's some Central Texas fish. They just got problems all over. These fish are healthy. That is one thing I can say about them.
These warmer days are changing it up, changing patterns up. You got to be on the move. One thing about crappie fishing, if you are complacent and you're not going out every day trying to make yourself better, these fish move daily, especially this time of year. You catch them in a summer pattern, of course. You find a brush pile, they're gonna sit there for probably 2-3 months. They'll stay in that area. The fish get very lethargic when the water's hotter. As this water cools down, these fish may be here today and not here tomorrow. They're out running, chasing shad, having a good time. Blackfish.
Was it a blackfish?
And a good one, my boy.
I still don't see how you can tell an orange dot is a black crappie in 25 foot of water.
When you put time on the water, kind of like you probably can on Fort, man. I mean, you can call your fish out and, you know, when I go out there to 35 or 50 foot, it's gonna throw me for a loop. It's gonna take me a few days to even get my eyes trained to go, hey, that's a 140, that's a 160. I'm used to fishing 18 to 25. I can go to Waco, I can go to Limestone, I can go to Belton, I can go to Whitney, I can go to Aquila, I can go to Navarre Mills. I mean, I can go to Navarre Mills in Waco right now and catch them in 8 foot of water. And everybody I know that's fishing fork right now, 35 to 50, 35 to 50. It would be tough for me to just go out there and go, wham! It'd take me a little bit of time to get my eyes adjusted. He's chasing, right now he's got a fish on the screen that was in between shad, and he just picked him up.
This lake is so diverse. We've been out here for a little while now, and you can catch fish any style you want to. If you want to catch them roaming, you can. You want to catch them on timber, you can. You want to catch them on the mud, out the mud, you can. I don't know. These fish are healthy. They're full of eggs, full of shad. Got about 2 months before the spawn. That fish will be laying eggs in no time.
Fishing against you, Decker, the whole you know, Mike Valentine, Beckman, all those guys. I'm sure there's tons of people I'm not naming, but you know, when you're fishing against that caliber of fishermen, you start thinking, man, these guys have got 4, 5, 6 years of tournament fishing and education on those lakes. If you think about it that way, it'll defeat you really quick. You have to think about it as go out, do what I can do, break those lakes down like you break the lakes down at home, and hopefully we can put the big fish in the boat.
Put a respectable sack together.
Yep. Let me put you on the screen. You look a little better than me.
Always.
Come on, baby. Got her. Atta boy.
Did you see how I jigged that one and then jerked it?
Boy, you jigged and jerked that boy.
I'm gonna bring her to the back of the boat. I got a 4-pound test.
That's not a bad black.
That is not a bad black. Tell you what, I can't tell you too much about that rod right there, but it is the bee's knees for everything fishing.
You know, in Texas, a lot of our lakes are designed east and west, but this lake is designed north and south. And so anytime that, if you're wanting to come fish this lake, anytime you may want to pull up the weather app, check the wind. If you've got a 10 to 15 mile an hour wind coming straight out of the north or straight out of the south, you need to know that this lake is going to be having 2 to 3 foot rollers on it. It's notorious for being rough. If you get an east and west, you can get out here most of the time and it stays pretty calm. But that's another tip of the day for fishing Lake Limestone. Got her. I bet it's a whitefish.
That is definitely not a whitefish.
That's not a whitefish.
Such hard work.
Nice fish, brother.
Thank you. I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It's a cutie. I mean, that's a slab right there, oh boy. That's a slab, oh boy. I chose Ozark rods because I wanted a brand that represented themselves in a professional way, that's been around for a while, that has a bunch of anglers who are known, who have proven that this rod is one of the most, or is the most durable rod on the market. You know, you got people like Hayden Jeffries, Lamar, you got people like Jordan Sanders. These guys have tested and abused these rods, and they've proven that they work. I wanted to be a part of a great team, so that's why I chose Ozark. Is that a good one?
Please stay still. That fish was running. So I was telling everybody to stay still. I pinged that fish at like 30 foot out, and she was already shimmering down that tree. These fish have lateral lines. You can see that thing right there. They can feel everything we're doing in this boat. Zach Minnix has padded carpet up here, but even whenever you stomp around, they still get skittish, still get finicky. That fish was trying to run away. We put that little 64 ounce on her, smacked her in the nose, and she came in the boat. We both caught that one, brother. Ooh. That's teamwork right there.
Hey, that's a stud.
That is a monster crappie.
That is a stud.
No, that is a crappie monster.
Oh, crappie, yes, sir.
That is a...
Thank y'all for coming along with us. We had a lot of fun today. We caught blackfish, we caught whitefish, we caught tigers, we caught lions.
I don't care what you say, we're not going out on that little fish. You shut the up. It was good, you were going in the right direction. She wanted to smoke. Swing her into him, partner. Yeah. Let me handle that for you. I know you're a full-time guide. Let me take some of the workload off of you. There you go, sir.
Appreciate you, man.
Hey, anytime. Man, I had a blast with you today.
I did too, brother.
This lake is so diverse, full of everything. We caught a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we caught some blackfish, caught some whitefish, caught a couple 1/8s, a couple 1/9s, caught some small fish.
Couple tigers, couple cheetahs.
That's it.
Leopards.
Yep. I tell you what, man, these Ozark rods, they were awesome today. We boat flipped. I don't normally boat flip my fish. When I'm guiding, I put that Outlaw Pro net to work. I get it right under them as fast as I can. Today we were out here boat flipping, and it was fun doing something a little bit different, man. If you're in the market for an Ozark rod, I'm telling you, they're the best out there. 13s, 17s, and 15s, that's what we use. That's it for this trip, guys. It's an honor to be a part of the Ozark family. Y'all be looking out for more videos.